Cruz is covered, works him open with the ball. Beautiful play by Cruz and Eli.
2 plays later, 20 seconds on the clock. Manning, Cruz underneath 9 yards. Tick, 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 tick. The Giants spike it, and Lawrence party times at the end of the half. Squeezes it in. 31-yard field goal. You score in the last 2 minutes. It always helps you. The great teams do a 10-7 Giants at the half. Alex Smith the dump to Frank Gore. Frank Gore in space, and he knows one way. That would be forward, Tom.
Yeah.
24 yards.
Get north-south, get the yards you can.
Smith to Vernon Davis. And there he is between two Giants, 28 yards, and the Niners lead 14-10.
Beautiful play design. The Niners bring big people on the field. 2 tight ends, 2 running backs. Now they guarantee the matchup against Kenny Phillips. Vernon Davis runs the corner and go, and Alex drops in the dime. Beautiful play by the Niners.
Now 3rd and 5 Giants. Eli for Akeem Nicks. Oh, Deshaun Goldson almost had it. He and Terrell Brown collide, and the corner Brown is hurt.
Yeah, a little bit of friendly fire defensively. You cannot anticipate who else is driving on the football. You don't want to see a guy down like this, but great job by both players making a good play on the football.
And the Giants punt, 4th quarter. Here we go now. 14-10. Manning under pressure, number 99, Aldon Smith loops around, gets him again. The rookie almost set the rookie sack record this year. Then, play of the game, one of them. Punt by Weatherford, and Kyle Williams, that didn't hit me. So, just in case, Devin Thomas picks it up. Johnny on the spot figured, hey, no, we don't know what's going on. Ball ruled down for the Niners, but the Giants challenge, it hit him.
Yeah, this is the advantage of having all the cameras that you have at a normal football game, twice that, 3 times that, at a championship game. From every angle, you can see it looks like the ball actually touched Williams.
Kyle normally wouldn't be returning the punts. Ted Ginn is hurt, and the 49ers would pay for it because now the Giants have the ball. Manning, Nicks. Akeem Nicks, 14 yards. First down, G-Men. Now 3rd and 15. Eli to Mario Manning, a half. G-Men lead 17-14.
An incredible throw by Eli. The secondary is overloaded with players. They only rush 3, and Eli fits it into a tight spot to Manningham. What a play by Eli.
Now the Niners trying to come from behind. Smith under pressure. And almost like that run last week, opened them up because he ran maybe, a half a dozen times. It took the ball and tucked it, went 17 yards. Next play. The pitch, the interesting-looking play to Kendall Hunter. Left, zips forward for 18 yards. That's another 49er first down. Later in the drive, 3rd and 5. Smith to Michael Crabtree. Was this his only, and he was short of the first down. He was a mystery. Jim Harbaugh trying to call out timeout before the play, didn't get it. So they were deep, but they get to at least tie the game as David. Green Acres is the place to be from.
Louisville.
Tied at 17, 25-yard field goal. Can Eli answer? Did the Eagles sing Hotel California? Eli, he just overthrows Manningham. Next play. Eli to Travis Beckham, but he's bent.
Wow.
Bent him like by
Wow.
Willis. It's only a 6-yard gain. Giants punt. Weatherford and Lee very busy. Now, Smith under pressure. Kiwanuka gets him first. O.C. Umenyiora wraps him up, and the Niners forced to punt. That front line just so fast. They could not do a thing, especially on 3rd down. I know Trent, he'll talk about it. Eli under pressure now. Well, we can do that too. Patrick Willis sacks it for a loss of 11. Eli under pressure, dumps it off here to Ahmad Bradshaw. Bradshaw fighting. The ball is loose. Ball is loose, but the whistle blew. Official says forward progress stop pretty quick.
I'm going to say 2 things here. By the definition of the rule, probably the right call. Did I think it was a bit of a quick whistle? Absolutely.
What do you think? Do you think Jim Harbaugh thought it was a quick whistle?
I believe so.
Yes. 3rd down, so Giants keep the ball. Eli. He's looking for Cruz, but that one is covered. Carlos Rogers and company. Giants punt. 3rd and 10. Alex Smith looking for Delaney Walker, coming back after a broken jaw overthrow. 3 and out. Niners punt. 17 all. Real knuckle-cracking time. Eli under pressure. Gets hit by 3 Niners, but he finds Ahmad Bradshaw down the sideline, a gain of 30.
Typical Eli, extending the play with just a nice little slide. He knows where everybody's at. Very last second, he gets his eyes on Bradshaw down the rail, drops him the perfect little throw, big field position changing play.
3rd and 4, Niners 46. Eli to cruise. Oh, he can't quite make it in tight coverage. Giants decide to punt. You thought, well, maybe they'd go. Turned out in retrospect to be the right thing. Ensuing Niners drive. Alex Smith scrambling, Justin Tuck. That's the Giants' version of the Tuck rule. And they just were pinning the proverbial ears. Alex Smith at the end of half. Now, this is oddly enough the only 3rd down conversion, but I mean, it's the last play of the game. And unless you get a miracle, Kendall Walker, he fumbles, rather, he gets it again. We go to overtime. 17 all, and the yards, 319 to 319. That would mean it's an even game. Now, we haven't really seen this play out. First team scores to get a touchdown, it's over, like Denver did a couple weeks ago. First team gets a field goal or less, the other team gets the ball. Now we have sudden death, and we could go on and on and on. So, what would happen? Here we go. Coin toss and Giants. Giants win the toss. So, here they are, 3rd and 6. Manning looking for Jarrell Jernigan, incomplete, and the Giants are forced to punt. Here come the Niners, kind of. Alex Smith, Vernon Davis, but with really Davis and Gore the only 2 to throw to. I mean, they get short of a 1st down. Niners punt. 2nd and 4 Giants. Eli to Travis Beckham. 1st down, gain of 6. 3rd and 3 now. Eli. A look at Justin Smith. You're mine. Big number 94 makes the play. Giants punt. It can't happen again, can it? So Kyle Williams has it, and ball swept by Jaquan Williams. Devin Thomas has the football. He's the one that picked up the other one.
Kyle Williams had the tragic play earlier, trying to make a play now, get up the crease of the defense, just doesn't secure the ball. An unexcusable mistake by a really fine young player, Kyle Williams.
And so now the Giants in business. It would be, a 42-yard field goal right away, but they picked up some yards on 2nd and 2. Ahmad Bradshaw, 1st down. It's an 8-yard gain inside the 10. 2 plays later, you know what? Why don't we put it right in the middle of the field? It was 47 yards in Green Bay in overtime 4 years ago for the Giants to go to the Super Bowl for Lawrence Times. This one from 31. Good. It's good again for the New York Football Giants. Party times. Party times on the road. And what about Weatherford's hold?
Unbelievable hold by Weatherford, the punter. People have no idea how hard that is. That ball's coming back hard and slick. He gathers it in, gets it set up right to allow his kicker to make the kick. Weatherford, unsung hero in this one.
So one Harbaugh watches a kick go against him. The other Harbaugh in the earlier game watches a kick for him not work out. Meanwhile, for Tom Coughlin and the New York Giants, well, everyone said it kind of reminds me of 2007. Well, it really reminds you of it now. The New York Football Giants in overtime, again, on the road, again, by a field goal, again, are moving on to the Super Bowl, this time Super Bowl 46. The Giants 20 and the Niners 17. Rachel Nichols after the game with Jason Pierre-Paul of the victorious G-Men.
So, Jason, you're going to the Super Bowl. What do you think of that?
What you think of that? We go to the Super Bowl.
I think you got some excited Giants fans. What'd you guys do to Alex Smith today?
Oh, man. He played great. We rushed the passer great, man. And, he got out on a couple of times, but we knew it was going to be a dogfight when we came here, man. And we was already prepared for it, and, the outcome was this.
What was it like on that Giants sideline when that kick was being kicked?
Man, it's like the repeat of 07. We were hoping he'd make it, and, we knew no doubt he was going to make the kick, and he made the kick.
Super Bowl prediction?
Super Bowl bound. That's all I can say.
Thank you. Back to you guys.
All right, Rachel, thank you very much. And so the Giants, 20-17. I mean, we knew this would be a defensive battle, and it really was. And the Giants' defense never really let the 49ers get on track other than the 2 plays to Vernon Davis.
Yeah, I think that they did a great job of controlling the 49ers, not only in terms of running the ball, but set up down and distance situations where they could really go after Alex Smith. And the pass rush, I mean, it's a thing of beauty. It is relentless in the form of the way they go after you, how quick they are off the ball. And I actually thought Alex Smith did a really good job of getting away from that rush when he could, but at times it was so relentless you just couldn't withstand it, and that's against an outstanding offensive line.
Eli Manning, Trent, on 3rd downs was at his best against obviously an outstanding defense.
I think of masterful quarterback performances in the playoffs, and this is going to go right up the list for me. And let me tell you why. He threw it 58 times today in horrible field conditions, got hit 20 times, yet was still brilliant. Never turned the ball over, but never was he more brilliant than on the critical downs. The 3rd down plays that really defined the game for the New York Giants. If you go back early in this football game, the scoring drives the Giants had, Eli to Cruz on 3rd down. You take this first one, it should be a 3rd and 6 early in the football game. Eli starts to his left, kind of drifts to his right, catches Cruz down the boundary and delivers a nice throw, and Cruz does a great job pulling in. That led to points. I think this is one of the best plays of the game. Look at Eli. Wrong platform with his feet, throwing off his right foot. When he releases the ball, Cruz is not open. Understand this. He throws him open with the ball when his feet aren't right. This is as good a play by a quarterback as you will see. And then this touchdown throw. 3rd and 15. The secondary's overloaded with an extra defender. Eli somehow keeps the safety in the middle of the field and drills the bullet into Mario Manningham. Eli Manning was as good today as you can play quarterback in the NFL. This is why I never look at quarterback rating. I think it was 82-3 for the day. That's a joke. Eli Manning was as good as you can possibly be in these conditions, say, against the San Francisco 49ers.
It's like a pitcher, 50, it's like he threw 140 pitches, 58 passes.
Yeah.
32 of 58.
No turnovers. Got hit 20 times in this game.
Immense. And so, as Yogi said, is it deja vu all over again for the Giants? Well, in 07, they were 10-6. They never got a home game. And this year, they were 9-7. They got 1 home game. They gave up 2 points. And, of course, in the NFC Championship game on the road in 07, they defeated Brett Favre and the Packers. Favre's last game as the Packers in overtime with a field goal by Tynes. And then at this time, of course, it's the 49ers, who they defeat in overtime with a field goal by Lawrence Tynes. In both Super Bowls, they're going to play the New England Patriots. And, oh, by the way, let's see. So they give the Packers only 20 points. They get the Niners 17. 39 points in this day and age. 39 points in 3 playoff games in this year of the offense. Hello, the New York Giants have defense and defense to burn. Right now at the podium, Eli Manning in San Francisco. Let's listen.
How's it feel?
It feels great. That was a tough game. We had to fight for every yard that we got. Defense was playing outstanding. Obviously, special teams getting us 2 turnovers. That was huge. Leading to 10 points. So they're a good team. I mean, their defense is stout, and they play smart. And we knew we couldn't afford to make many mistakes and turn the ball over. We didn't. We did a good job doing that. A couple were close, but it was a hard-fought game, and just excited about this win. Excited having another chance to go to the Super Bowl and play New England.
You probably took more hits in this game, maybe even the second half, than you had in any game of the season. Was it hard standing there against the rush?
Yeah, they're a good front four. They brought a little pressure and trying to get the ball out quickly, but they've done that all season. That's why they're one of the top defenses in the NFL. Is they do a good, they're tough against the run, and then they get a lot of sacks. And those sacks can lead to turnovers. Just try to be smart, not turn the ball over. Knew eventually we'd hit some big plays, and just trying to be patient. That was kind of the thing I kept kind of telling myself. Just be patient. Don't force anything. Don't give them anything. Our defense is playing well, and we stuck with that, and got some turnovers, and used that to hurt them.
Eli, whether it's back from 7-7 record or whether it's in this game today, can you tell us about the way this team fights?
Yeah, just you know, guys never quit, never have any doubts. Just keep believing, keep fighting till the very end, no matter what the circumstances are. And you know, I think everybody knew, you know, if we just, you know, we were gonna get a break, we were gonna get a chance to win this game, and we're gonna make a play or something was gonna happen. And you know, if we didn't, you know, make a mistake ourselves. So that was the mindset, and you know, this both all phases, and that's. You know, when we play our best football and we win games, it's because all, you know, offense, defense, special teams, all playing smart football, playing together, you know, supporting each other, and we find ways to win.
You like to talk about playing the Patriots again in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, you know, obviously we know they're a great team. They've been a great team for years. They've had an unbelievable season. They got you know, terrific players all over, and you know, obviously we played them once this year and had one right down to the wire. So you know, they've been playing great football of late also. So we just you know, we're gonna celebrate this game and have fun, and then you know, we'll start preparing and go to Indianapolis and get a game plan, and you know, hopefully we can continue to play our best football.
Plenty more to come on this edition of NFL Primetime. On this game, we'll hear from Jim Harbaugh, Niners, more Giants. And, oh, by the way, there's a pretty darn good game that came down to the wire, literally, in the AFC in New England between the Patriots and the Ravens. We'll be back.
So this is my friend Frank and his retirement plan.
One golden crown.
Come on, Frank. How long have we known each other? Go to E-Trade. They got killer tools, man. They'll help you nail a retirement plan that's fierce.
2 golden crowns.
You realize the odds of winning are the same as being mauled by a polar bear and a regular bear in the same day?
Frank!
Oh, wow. You didn't win? I want to show you something. It's my shocked face.
Get a retirement plan that works at E-Trade.
In 4 days, prepare to enter the gray.
Don't move. Stare right back at him.
Rolling Stone calls it terrifically exciting. It's a masterpiece.
How are we going to deal with this? We take them on, one at a time.
Liam Neeson is electrifying.
I want to feel your hands in mine.
Don't miss it.
Go!
The Gray, rated R, starts Friday.
America's been getting under cheese big time with so-called cheesy bread, and we were one of the worst offenders. So we've created our new stuffed cheesy bread. It's got as much cheese as our medium pizza.
Let's see how far we can make this go.
Order any of our new stuffed cheesy breads or medium 2-topping pizzas. Choose any 2 for just $5.99 each.
When your cable's on the fritz, you get frustrated. When you get frustrated, your daughter imitates. When your daughter imitates, she gets thrown out of school. When she gets thrown out of school, she meets undesirables. When she meets undesirables, she ties the knot with undesirables. And when she ties the knot with undesirables, you get a grandson with a dog collar. Don't have a grandson with a dog collar. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
NFL Primetime is presented by E-Trade. Investing Unleashed.
A play that will live in both teams' lore. 17-all, overtime, San Francisco, the Weatherford punt. The Kyle Williams return. The strip by Jaquan Williams. The recovery by the Giants' Devin Thomas, which leads to a couple of first downs. And Lawrence Tynes from 31 yards on a real good hole by Steve Weatherford. It's good. The Giants win it 20-17 in OT. They're moving on to the Super Bowl, to the chagrin of Niners coach Jim Harbaugh at the podium.
Well, I mean, keep your chin up. It's we all have things that you know, wish could have been different, and you know, that we could have done better. Congratulations to the Giants, and thought they played a heck of a ball game and found a way to win, and you tip your cap to them.
When you put him back there, what were your instructions, at least for the last one? Did you want him to be that aggressive with the ball like that?
Yeah, I mean, play football.
Jim, you guys really struggled on third downs offensively. What do you attribute that, man?
Yes, we did. You know, just probably a couple things. You know, their coverage, their rush. You know, and we didn't. You know, and you know, certainly we. You know, you look at it, it would be, you know, our execution, probably the, you know, calls at the certain times, you know, all those things would attribute to it.
You didn't throw a lot in the first half. Was it because of the conditions, or why?
What do you define as a lot?
Oh gosh, I think.
What's a lot to you?
What was it? 7 times in the. How many times have they thrown in the first half? 7 or 8. Seems like not a lot. 7.
Mm-hmm. No, not. What was our? It seemed like it went pretty fast in the first half. You know, no, I don't have an answer for you there. Okay. That was not part of the game plan, or you know, we were playing football.
Did the conditions change? Or did the conditions influence how you called this game, how you approached it?
No, it didn't. You know, we felt like we could operate in it. Yeah, I feel like we could, yes.
But did you feel like the weather did impact you guys at all?
The same both ways, you know.
What did the Giants do to take away your wide receivers?
Like I just said, you know, a couple minutes ago. Combination of those 4 things, probably.
Jim, even though you didn't listen to Super Bowl, you got the championship in your first year. How do you feel about that? Even though you didn't get it.
I mean, I'm proud of the way our players played. Proud of the way they prepared, they worked, they competed, and you know, wasn't there for us today. And in a lot of ways, we you know, played well enough to win, and we don't come away with it. It'll be a tough one. You know, it'll probably take a while to get over it, but we'll get over it. This team's not defeated by any stretch of the imagination. You know, man can be destroyed, but he can't be defeated as long as this team knows that there's hope.
You had a great run there by.
Well, and he can be destroyed but can't be defeated, Eli Manning. I mean, the way that the Giants, the Niners, when they come back and answer it, I mean, the mental toughness of the Giants, we've seen this before in other years. It's certainly a product of their coach. We can go on and on and on and on, but you just see them dig so deep, and it's a big city team playing big-time, tough, old NFC East football.
I think it's old-style football in so many ways. 10-6 when they won Super Bowl 42, 9-7 this year during the regular season. They don't care where they played. They don't care what the conditions are. They went through the 4-game losing streak. They got hot, but I think they really got back to fundamentals, which is the toughness up front on both sides of the football. And just for a moment to speak to Coach Harbaugh's comments, I think there's 2 different ways to lose, and we kind of saw it in both games today. We'll be discussing the other game. But that is, you can lose because the other team plays so much better than you, and I think you can walk away and be satisfied with that one. When you play and you know you played well enough to win and you still lose, that's the one that is the most difficult to walk away from.
Yeah, and that's where I'll start is I think about the 49ers season. And this was a team that always made the play at the end of the game to win. This was a team that never assisted in their opponent's ability to win. They never gave their opponent anything. And you look at today, and they didn't make the play to win the game. They had some chances, and they did, unfortunately, assist in the Giants' ability to win the game. And going to your point about the Giants, I saw this team in Week 12 against New Orleans. And this is not the same team as we saw in Week 12. And that speaks to Tom Coughlin, Perry Fuel, the rest of the coaching staff. They understand this is a developmental league still. With as many young players as you have to play in today's football, it is always about going out to practice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and trying to get better. And I think the Patriots are an example of that, too. 2 teams that have got exponentially better on certain sides of the ball as the year has wore on, and that's why they're going to be meeting in the Super Bowl.
The defense is, of course, what sticks out for the Giants, but many veteran Giant watchers say that after that game in New Orleans, which they weren't in, that the offensive line, that they made big-time changes in the way they play. I mean, you can see in the results. I mean, they've been pretty much, you know, on target after that. And for Eli just to stand there against a defense like that, as you point out, Trent, to throw 58 times and get hit, whatever the number was, 20 times and complete the third down passes on the road in the rain, not that it wasn't raining on the 49ers, is, well, that's why Tom Coughlin's proud of him. He's at the podium right now.
Well, I can just say that that was a tremendous football game for those that really enjoy football at its very basic element. It was a very physical game. We knew it was going to be. We had the rain, we had the wind, we had all those ingredients thrown in. And both defenses played superbly. Very, very difficult for either team to muster any kind of consistency offensively. You know, the play that Eli made on third down that got us the touchdown that gave us the lead was just an incredible football play. And then the play at the end of the game, there were two of them. The ball that hit the return man's knee, and then the ball that was stripped by Jaquan Williams and recovered by Devin Thomas, which gave us, you know, field position that we needed. We were then able to rush the ball a little bit and got it in the middle of the field, kicked the field goal to win. But just a classic football game that seemed like no one was going to put themselves in position to win it, and but we were able to do that. And so I'm very proud of this group, congratulating our ownership, our team, our coaches for the way that they prepared and performed here. The 49ers are a very good football team. They don't need me to say that, but they certainly have a formula that I admire. You know, they play great defense. They don't turn the ball over, and so they were able to have an outstanding season. So I congratulate them for their season, and we're all excited about advancing.
There's the smile. 7 road wins for Tom Coughlin and Tom Landry. That's a record. Tom Brady trying to get in the record books himself. We'll be back with the AFC game.
Hey, you'll love this.
Thing is sick.
Yeah, it's got 2 lenses, so the 3D's amazing.
Ever heard of 3D, Grandpa?
It's easy to use, and the best part is...
we can make 3D movies at home and watch them in 3D or HD.
Check it out. That picture's incredible.
Mom, this new TV is so cool.
When you turn on a Sony, you can't help but show it off. Share your story at sony.com/stories.
At Bridgestone, we are highly passionate about tire performance. And today, we want to announce our intent to take our passion and technologies and bring them to the world of sports. I give you the Bridgestone Performance Balls and puck. Some of the world's great athletes will be helping us test these new products, which have the potential to revolutionize sports as we know it. Mr. Vitale, you must have a question.
At Bridgestone, our passion for performance knows no bounds.
Brad, where are we going?
Just a second. Just 1 second.
What are you
Don't look up
looking
there.
at?
Why are you looking up? Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
Are you okay?
Get in the car.
The EPA estimated 42 mpg highway Chevy Cruze Eco. From spending time together to spending your lives together, Chevy runs deep.
Y allí está Real Madrid. Allí está Barcelona.
Another chapter in the ultimate rivalry.
Allí está ESPN Deporte.
From the Camp Nou Stadium.
Ronaldo, pum, 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 le pegó.
For the second leg of the quarterfinals of the Copa del Rey, the Kings Cup.
Arriba, mira que pelota le metió para Vidal, entró habilitado, le pegó gol.
Barcelona, Real Madrid. This Wednesday live on ESPN Deportes and ESPN3.
The sky is blue. The water is inviting. The drinks are cold, and the people as warm as always. In the Jamaica you know and love, nothing really changes. Except, of course, the hearts and souls of those who visit. Jamaica. Once you go, you know.
Let's say you work here, but need a professional business presence here, or need to meet with clients here. It's easy with a Regis virtual office. You'll get a professional business address to call your own, a receptionist to provide unlimited call answering, access to meeting rooms, and use of a private office. With over 1,200 global locations, it's easy to have a business presence wherever you need one. Call 1-800-OFFICES and get 2 months free. That's 1-800-OFFICES.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by E-Trade.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime, everybody. The AFC Championship game, by the way, this is Tom Jackson and that is Trent Dilfer. I'm Chris Berman. The AFC Championship game in a familiar sight. Many have been played at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, but the Baltimore Ravens were determined that in their second championship game in 4 years, this time would be different. Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and the Patriots, despite the fact that defense leaky much of the season, shoring things up. Did the Ravens make the necessary adjustments, and could they bring the heavy defense to stop New England in their home park? Here we go from frosty Foxborough. And for the honorary captains, one of which was Drew Bledsoe, who was the quarterback you might remember before Tom Brady, and that, of course, Joe Flacco, and that's the Gronker. Tom Brady with the Patriots up 3-0 down the field to Julian Edelman. Ladarius Webb is there for the interception. Ravens defense playing some football. Now here comes Joe Flacco. And Torrey Smith is wide open, but he gets it. But if it was on a deep stride, it was a touchdown. It was a nice play of 42 yards. It only sets up a field goal, 3-3. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. One of the surprises was the way that the Patriots were able to run on Baltimore. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. That would be 11 yards, 15 carries for 68 against the staunch Raven defense. And then on the right side, it's a touchdown behind Logan Mankins.
New England Patriots do a great job getting nickel defense on the field, and Logan Mankins turns around, kicks out. That means Ed Reed's the linebacker-type player, doesn't feel fast enough, allows Ben Jarvis in the end zone.
And he points to Myra Kraft, departed, just passed away, the wife of owner Robert Kraft. Meanwhile, Flacco to Anquan Bolden downfield, 37 yards on a 2nd and 5. Now, 2nd and goal. Flacco, my X Factor, Dennis Pitta. That's right, Pitta.
Yeah, and great job by Flacco extending the play just a little bit.
We're tied at 10, but at 16-10 Patriots in the third quarter to Flacco to Lee Evans for a first down. Made that one-handed catch last week against Houston, 3rd and 6, Flacco. To Pitta. He pitta-pattas his way. He takes a hard hit, but it's a first down. Now, 3rd and 3. Flacco to Torrey Smith, makes a miss. And he is down the sideline with a beautiful play for a touchdown.
Amazing play by Torrey Smith. Joe Flacco gets it started by recognizing the blitz, getting into Torrey Smith, and he finishes it by somehow staying in bounds in this effort right here to sniff the goal line out and get the ball across. What a play by Torrey Smith.
Having the first time of the afternoon, the Ravens have the lead 17-16 on the ensuing kickoff. Danny Woodhead starting in his end zone, trying to make something happen. And it's a foul. Laquan Williams strips the ball. Not Jaquan Williams of the Giants, but Laquan Williams of the Ravens, and the Ravens recover. And so now here, Baltimore can really put a hurt on New England. Flacco tucks it, and he runs it for 15 yards. 1st and 10 from the 11. A touchdown will make it an 8-point lead. Flacco to Chris Wilson. Ooh, incomplete in the end zone. Now we're 3rd and 8 from the 9. And the sack is there. And the Ravens would get only a field goal with a big stand by New England's defense, 20-16. Brady, Rob Gronkowski. And he comes up limping because, is he always around during these plays against New England? Bernard Pollard.
Yeah, Bernard Pollard makes the tackle, and you can see that Gronkowski gets his ankle caught up underneath, and he'd have to be taken to the locker room. We see it right there.
Where he was quickly fixed up and would return in a short while. Meanwhile, Tom Brady on 2nd and goal at the 1 in the end zone, or was he? They take another look, knee down.
I think they got this one right. Tom Brady's knee was down before the ball crossed, setting up a 3rd down opportunity.
3rd and inches now. All right, so after the wait call back on the field, the offense said, boom! Ravens defense stacked up at Jarvis Green Ellis. That's Ray Lewis and company. 4th and inches. Tom over takes a nail in the back from Ray Lewis, but he's in there. The angular quarterback, Brady. What's his 4th touchdown this year? He's never had that many. 23-20. Brandon Spikes picks off Flacco with 8 minutes to go. And after the Ravens were moving, the Patriots defense again, they're playing much better than they have all year. Now Brady, first play, gonna make him pay. But Pollard is there to tip it to Jimmy Smith, who makes a beautiful pick in the end zone, and he's not done. The 10, the 20, the 30. He's out to about the 40-yard line.
You know, I talked this morning about how the Ravens do such a great job of getting their eyes back to the football, and that's what you saw Pollard do right there. The great grab by Jimmy Smith, and then the presence of mind to get up and get some yardage.
Ray Rice is stopped for a loss of 3, and the Patriots did everything they could to make sure that Rice wouldn't beat him. And now, 4th down, John Harbaugh says, wait a minute, Randy Brown, the specialty coach, look out. We got to call a timeout. Now it's 4th and 6, and Big Vince Wilfork applies the pressure and forces the incompletion, and the Patriots take over on downs, leading 23-20. Brady tries to go outside Aaron Hernandez, and Ed Reed with a beautiful play.
Yeah, the safeties linebackers been picked on all day of the Ravens, but Ed Reed comes up huge in a critical moment.
And so now, minute 15 to go, 3rd and 5, Flacco. Anquan Bolden again. Edelman playing defense now. Under a minute to go, 3rd and 1, Bolden with Pitta in front with a block. And the Ravens are in business. Now, under 30 seconds to go. The Ravens on 2nd and 1. To the end zone, Lee Evans, it's a touchdown, but Sterling Moore makes the play of the year for New England.
It's a perfectly thrown ball. Lee Evans thinks he has it secured, but Sterling Moore with the great chop to get the ball out.
And now the next play, 3rd and 1. Flacco just needs a yard now. He's going to look for Pitta in trouble at Sterling Moore. Began the year as a Raider, up and down for the practice squad Patriots. And now Billy Cundiff to tie it from 30. Oh, he missed a 32-yard field goal. It wasn't even close. So at the end of regulation, it looked like we were going to overtime, and Cundiff way wide left. Cundiff knows. Coach Harbaugh, he missed it. Terrell Suggs, oh my God. Meanwhile, the Patriots, Coach Belichick, Tom Brady, in another Super Bowl, their 5th Robert Kraft, an emotional year for he and his family, holding the AFC, the Lamar Hunt Trophy. And the Patriots survive 23-20. They're moving on after not having won playoff games in a couple of years. Afterwards, Sal Paolantonio with Tom Brady.
You're back to the Super Bowl. How does it feel?
Feels good. I get a chance to redeem myself. You know, I threw a couple picks today and had a chance to end the game there at the end, but our defense stepped up. Man, it's a great team we played. Hopefully we go out and play better in a few weeks.
What was the key to your offense moving the football down the field today?
You know, we did some decent things. We didn't get it in the red area, and the turnovers hurt us, but we got to be better in a few weeks.
Your defense played hard down the end when they were coming down to score at the end, but they held them, and then you had a chance to win.
Our defense been criticized all year, but they won the game today.
Feels great.
Yeah.
Feels great.
Terrific.
Players did a great job.
Terrific performance by your defense down at the end there to stop them.
Well, I'll tell you, it was a heck of a football game. That's a good football team now. The Ravens are tough, though. It's a great game. Came down to the last play. We're happy to win.
It's a kick I've kicked probably 1,000 times in my career. And went out there and just didn't convert. That's just kind of the way things go. You know, just there's really no excuse for it. Just didn't go through.
I thought our guys played their hearts out. We made plays, came up a play or two short at the end, but doesn't lessen what they accomplished this year. Doesn't lessen what they accomplished in this game. Proud of our quarterback. Proud of the way he played and the way he stepped up in this kind of a setting. The plays that he made down the stretch. I think it says a lot about him and his future. And I just like our football team, and I like where we're going.
I mean, look at the film. You know, you look at the film, you see how I play. And I pretty much play the same way every week. So if you think I played better this week than other weeks, you know, I think you're wrong. This is the way I play every week, and I really don't care. I don't know if I ever will prove anything, and you know, it's not really up to me. My job is to go out there and play and give our team the best shot to win.
So the New England Patriots, since they had these championship games, okay, in 1970 in this format, only 3 times has a team that's lost the turnover battle by 2 or more won. There were 3 today that the Ravens forced and won the Patriots. So -2. The Patriots over the Ravens. The catch game, the Niners turned the ball over 6 times, so -3, but they won. And in 1975, one of those, Tom, you know those great battles between the Steelers and Raiders, that was -2. So it's 3-47 when you have this happen. But the Baltimore Ravens won the battle in turnovers. A couple other things. It was a game that the Patriots win 23-20. To the victor go the spoils, and we'll talk about the Patriots in a moment. But the Ravens' emotions go from, we won the game, until Moore made the play. We tied the game, until the field goal wasn't close. We lost the game. All in 30 seconds. Rough.
Well, I think if you had told the Baltimore Ravens that they were going to play a game where they were going to win the turnover battle, they were going to outrush the New England Patriots, Tom Brady was not going to throw a touchdown pass. Joe Flacco would, in fact, outplay Tom Brady on this given day. I think they would have said, we're going to win the game. But it really became a story of missed opportunities for the Baltimore Ravens. Here, you see them trying to get up the field. This throw, and actually it was one that Torrey Smith just couldn't find as he came out of his break. He could not find the football. Missed opportunity. Could have been a touchdown. Joe Flacco here ends up throwing this ball out of bounds. Great play by Wilfork, but watch the check through by Rice right there by NFL standards, wide open. See it, look for it, it's done. Here, Flacco with the throw into the end zone. Should have been, obviously, a touchdown. Lee Evans, game, set, match. We don't get it. And then finally, the missed field goal. I mean, you know, Condiff, your heart goes out to him because the guy makes a mistake like that, he will never be the same. But again, I thought it was just a case of, boy, we played so great. We lost this game, but we didn't get outplayed, missed opportunities.
Yeah, it played a huge part of it, obviously. I think there's one more element, though, to it, Tom. And I think when you look at the New England Patriots, they turn the ball over 3 times. They give away 3 possessions. So how do they win? Well, they won by executing to a high level when they did have the ball, and it came down to the tactics. I was blown away by their game plan against the Baltimore Ravens. Starting in the run game, the Patriots were so smart. They went big, their typical 2 tight end package. When the Ravens went small, there's a cornerback playing the linebacker position, getting him to retreat. They ran the ball, and Ben Jarvis Green had great success doing so. Once again, down in the red zone where it's hard to throw the ball in, Patriots go big with 2 tight ends. Ed Reed becomes the linebacker-type player. They run a strong side play. Ed Reed, not used to playing this position, coming backside. This is actually not that hard of a fill. He's a little late on the fill, allows the touchdown to happen. Now in the passing game, Patriots, big, right? These 2 tight ends we talked about. Where did they attack? They attacked linebackers, 52-99, Lewis, Kruger. They went receiver on linebackers. This is a theme. You go later on, Gronkowski. Big play on a scoring drive. Who's he beat? A safety, Pollard. The Patriots consistently got the matchups they wanted because of tactics. The big seam route on a scoring drive. Ooh. Look at Gronkowski, underneath defender linebacker, over the top defender safety. And these are just a few isolated plays. Of Tom Brady's 22 completions in this game, 16 were against linebacker or safety types of the Ravens. The Pats just, it's going to be harsh, are just a little bit smarter than everybody else when it comes to offense, and they know how to expose the matchups that are in their favor.
And to a man, and I went up there late in the year, as you know, the New England Patriots say, look, you look at our stats defensively, but we are making plays at end of game when we have to, even though some of the personnel, you don't even know who they are. This Sterling Moore began the year on Oakland, the practice squad. At the end of September, he was released. He was up and down the practice squad, played, what, a half a dozen games, had 2 picks against Buffalo, played some against Denver. And he makes 2 of the biggest plays. Well, he became Ty Law in this play in the end zone to Lee Evans, and then knocked the ball away from Pitta. Wasn't even a Patriot at the end of September. I mean, how do they do it? They stand up tall at the end of the game, and that's what happened. Speaking of standing up tall, always standing up winning or losing would be the veteran, non-paralleled Ray Lewis, the linebacker of the Ravens, with our Sal Palantonio after the game.
Not one play won or lost this game.
Now, could you have put us in a position to keep playing? Absolutely. But one player didn't win or lose this game. And there's no one man that's ever lost a game. And for me to go to him, which I will very quickly, brother, don't you ever drop your head. We win as a team, we lose as a team. There's no, oh, Billy's the fault, Billy missed it. Hey, there's no freaking Billy missed the kick. It happened. Move on very quickly as a man, because life doesn't stop.
How much is Joe Flacco?
But we're Baltimore. We're gonna always be Baltimore. You know, from day one, you know, from the time that we came from winning the ring, we're gonna go right back to work and do the same thing, like all other 32 teams are. But it's one thing about my city. My city will never turn their back on us because we ain't gonna turn their back on them. You know, we grinders. And the bottom line is, we coming home, and we coming home with a smiles, but most importantly, when we start back training, we coming back off. You know, why wouldn't you be? Is this my last time as a Raven? Absolutely not. Let me answer that question before somebody asks me the question. You know? Absolutely not, man. It's just too much. You know, life is, it offers too much. It really does. And every time you step on this field is a true blessing, so you can just have an opportunity to do what we tried to do. And we didn't do it.
Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. Ray has a ring, but Ed, it's so many of these veterans, 9, 10-year veterans, you wonder, you know, the clock is ticking. They were so close. And by the way, so Eli Manning and Tom Brady are the Super Bowl quarterbacks. So who gets Peyton Manning's locker, his brother or his longtime rival Brady? Well, the AFC is the home team, so that would be the Patriots. So not Eli, but if it goes the way it should, Tom Brady will be dressing at Peyton Manning's locker at the Drum in Indianapolis in 2 weeks. Bizarre, eh? When we return on NFL Primetime, more on Championship Sunday.
NFL Primetime is streaming live on your computer, tablet, or smartphone via WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app.
Succeeding in today's market requires more than wishful thinking. It requires determination, decisive action. I go to E-Trade and get unbiased analyst ratings and 24/7 help from award-winning customer support to take control of my finances and my life. I tap into the power of revolutionary mobile apps to trade wherever, whenever. Life isn't fully experienced sitting idly by. Neither is investing.
They're supremely agile, remarkably powerful, and fiercely independent. This is Jaguar at play.
The world has changed. A new evil is coming. We need the rider. On February 17th, the world's darkest hero returns. Are you ready?
I'm gonna say yes. Plus, I have some personal issues I'd kind of like to get fixed.
Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance in 3D and Real D 3D. Rated PG-13.
They're really bringing their A game. We're going to get back to what we do best, tough ground and pound football. Play physical, play...
You've never seen this. You've also never seen the LG Spectrum with the 720p HD display. It's exclusively preloaded with the Score Center app with HD video and only on Verizon's 4G LTE network. ESPN Score Center, movies, and more in HD on the LG Spectrum.
Texas basketball lives on Longhorn Network. Watch live games and coaches shows and get exclusive access to the Hoops programs. Follow Texas basketball from practice to game day on Longhorn Network. Call your TV provider and tell them you need Texas Hoops.
First and second round coverage of the Masters coming in April on ESPN.
Bumblebee, bumblebee, bumblebee. Did you ever know that you're my hero? And everything I would like to be. I can fly higher than an eagle. You are
Feel the wind beneath my wings.
Oh, hey, thank you.
Nailed it! Yeah!
It's a bye week, but not for us. We hope you join us for a 2-hour kind of informal edition of Sunday bye week NFL Countdown, 10:30 to 12:30 Eastern. You figure out the times in the other time zones. We'll all be here. We hope you're here as well. A field goal missed and a field goal made are the margins of victory for the Super Bowl. Lawrence Tynes makes, so the Giants are playing the Patriots Super Bowl 46, just as they did in Super Bowl 42. Why don't we start looking ahead? Because that's what we all do.
Yeah, I mean, you can say they're similar, but you know, it doesn't mean that, you know, the outcome's gonna be the same. We gotta you know, prepare, have a great week, 2 weeks to get ready for a good team, and go out and play, you know, continue to play smart, great football, and all three phases. And so, you know, I'm sure there's going to be comparisons, and that's fine, but you know, it's not going to make anything guaranteed.
Someone asked me that just a minute ago in there, and I said, I don't know if I'm ready to start talking about that yet, but I'm sure that it'll be tremendous copy for the two of us matching up again, resuming the 2007-2008 battle. But, you know, congratulations to them. I did see the score, and we'll start getting ready for them in a couple of days.
Starts with Tom Brady, man. That guy's awesome. He's had another awesome year, and that team is just, you know, they're a model of consistency, it looks like. So it's going to be fun. We know we're going to have our hands full with those guys, but it's exciting, man. It's another rematch of probably the best Super Bowl ever played, and, you know, I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Well, the regular season game was pretty good, too, 24-20 in Foxborough that the Giants won. Primetime performers coming up. We had 2 primetime games, I'll tell you that.
You are watching NFL Primetime, presented by E-Trade.
In 4 days, prepare to enter the gray.
Don't move. Stare right back at him.
Rolling Stone calls it terrifically exciting. It's a masterpiece.
How are we going to deal with this? We take them on, one at a time.
Liam Neeson is electrifying.
I want to feel your hands in mine.
Don't miss it. Go! The Gray, rated R, starts Friday.
Would you like her to rephrase the question?
I'm not going to be the person I'm expected to be anymore.
Bien expected. Bleu de Chanel.
At Chanel.com. When your cable company keeps you on hold, you get angry. When you get angry, you go blow off steam. When you go blow off steam, accidents happen. When accidents happen, you get an eye patch. When you get an eye patch, people think you're tough. When people think you're tough, people want to see how tough. And when people want to see how tough, you wake up in a roadside ditch. Don't wake up in a roadside ditch. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Y allí está Real Madrid. Allí está Barcelona.
Another chapter in the ultimate rivalry.
Allí está ESPN Deporte.
From the Camp Nou Stadium.
Ronaldo, pum, 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 le pegó.
For the second leg of the quarterfinals of the Copa del Rey, the Kings Cup.
Arriba, mira qué pelota le metió para Vidal, entró habilitado, le pegó gol.
Barcelona, Real Madrid, this Wednesday live on ESPN Deportes and ESPN3.
If you like video games, you need to be a member of GameFly.
Real gamers talk about why they love GameFly.
Just go online, put games in your game queue.
They get mailed to your house. You can play it as long as you want. Ship it out and you get your next one.
Join GameFly now with the special TV offer and get all the games you want delivered right to your home for one low monthly fee.
There's no due dates, no late fees.
With over 8,000 titles, GameFly is the best way to rent video games.
First-person shooters, RPGs, multiplayer games.
This is the best way to play all the games you want for a great price.
Get started at GameFly.com now. Save money and play your favorite games all year long.
GameFly has a great value.
Want to own a game you're playing? Buy it from GameFly at a discounted price.
I buy almost all my games from GameFly now.
Nice thing is you don't even buy it for full price. Go to GameFly.com now. Click the joystick in the top right corner. Enter FAN in the box and get started with a free extended trial. And remember, you can cancel at any time. Product shown rated E through M. Now you can also play PC games as often as you want with our new Unlimited PC Play, free for members.
And now, welcome back to Primetime. Who's hungry? Not going anywhere for a while. Tom, is he hungry?
Hard to believe. Vince Wilfork is hungry, though. When you have a big guy like this dominate in the middle of the field, and he basically shut down the run of the Ravens through 3 or more quarters.
Tom, he is hungry, obviously, but I don't know if there's been a hungrier player in the NFL since Week 14 when he beat the Cowboys in Dallas. Eli Manning, the best quarterback in the league, I will say, since that time, and he was super hungry today.
Guy you never even thought of, Sterling Moore, was sterling for the New England Patriots, born in 1990. I mean, he's not even 22. He's hungry. He's too young to be hungry. We're off to Indy. The Patriots and the G-Men. We've seen this before. It was pretty good before.
Who's Hungry is brought to you by Snickers, who reminds you to play hungry, but not literally hungry. And watch the film The Man Who Played Literally Hungry at NFL.com/Snickers.
Want to know the difference between a trader and an elite trader? It's this, the E-Trade Pro platform. Fast, beautiful, totally customizable. Finds top performing stocks in 3 clicks. Quickly scans the market for new trading ideas. It can even match option strategies to your goals and lets you see the potential risk and reward. And it also comes with a dedicated elite service team. Got it? Get it? Good. Introducing new E-Trade Pro Elite.
Love this.
Thing is sick.
Yeah, it's got 2 lenses, so the 3D's amazing.
Ever heard of 3D, Grandpa?
It's easy to use, and the best part is...
we can make 3D movies at home and watch them in 3D or HD. Check it out. That picture's incredible.
Mom, this new TV is so cool.
When you turn on a Sony, you can't help but show it off. Share your story at sony.com/stories.
America's been getting under cheese big time with so-called cheesy bread, and we were one of the worst offenders. So we've created our new stuffed cheesy bread. It's got as much cheese as our medium pizza.
Let's see how far we can make this go.
Order any of our new stuffed cheesy breads or medium 2-topping pizzas. Choose any 2 for just $5.99 each.
This Super Bowl, we're giving away 20 Chevys and thousands of other prizes with the Chevy Game Time app. Play along with the Super Bowl as we put the game in your hands. Download the app to get in on the action and on the prizes. Experience Super Bowl Sunday in a whole new way. Chevy Game Time.
NFL Primetime is presented by E-Trade. Investing Unleashed.
Well, we're going to talk about it for 2 hours. Kind of informal. Kick back and have a cup of coffee, cup of joe. Sunday NFL Countdown for 2 hours, 10:30 a.m. this Sunday. Now, even though it's a bye week, but we're getting ready. Here's the football. Super Bowl 46 in the drum. Giants of the Patriots. You know, they played such a good one at the Big Toaster. We might as well have another one. Now, what the Patriots have accomplished by beating the Ravens and going to the Super Bowl. 7th Super Bowl appearance. Only Pittsburgh and Dallas have more. Tom Brady has tied his hero, Joe Montana, for most postseason wins, 16. That'd be saying something. And Coach Belichick has tied Joe Gibbs with 17 wins. Only Tom Landry, 20. Don Shula, 19 with more. So, I mean, history dripping. And then there's the matter of the fact that the Giants had that huge upset and this year beat the Patriots in the regular season.
I just go back to an interview that Michael Kay had with Eli Manning before the season started.
Good point.
Where he asked him,
there you are.
Are you elite? And so often in today's football, people answer that with their words. Eli went out, answered it with his play. No matter what happens Super Bowl Sunday, the dude's elite.
It's going to be an elite Super Bowl.
It'll be a great Super Bowl. I love the contract.
G-men, P-men. Thanks for watching.